We want to turn now to our questions from our viewers and our listeners. The first one comes from Shania Wozniak. I hope I pronounced that properly. And it's posted on Facebook. And she asked, Joseph, I'll direct this first one to you. Why haven't they revisited that one person who was at the food truck kiosk downtown? I feel they've cleared everyone way too early in this investigation. So we believe that she's referring to the man in the hoodie at the food truck who was near Maddie and Kaylee right before they went home for the evening. So what's your thought on that, about them not revisiting that or going back to him? As far as we know, they said that they don't believe he's involved.
Yeah, that's the key. You said, as far as we know. We don't know what they've done. They know where to find him, though. And I would imagine along the way at some point in time, if they think that there is some kind of connection to these crimes, because we can't just call it a crime. It's multiple. We're talking about a multiple homicide, each individual victim. So with that said, they're going to go through this individual's social media. They're going to go through their phone records, perhaps, and see if there's any kind of connectivity with any of the direct connectivity with the victims, and also any of the peripherals that are associated with that. In addition to that, if they have any kind of unknown biological evidence at the scene, this individual will be first on the list to eliminate. And that's my big question here. Has this individual been eliminated from a biological standpoint relative to connectivity of any of the individuals or to the scene itself?
Mm-hmm. Imran, as a former prosecutor, talk to us a little bit about that process of ruling people not just in, but excluding them. It seems like a lot of times that's what investigators try to do. They try to rule people out. And if they can't rule them out, then they're not ruled out. They may be ruled in. So that process, maybe you're doing an initial interview, but you may go back and re-interview that person at a later date. So what's that process like of trying to eliminate people as far as they go as a possible suspect?
Sure. So an investigation like this, as we have been seeing, is dynamic. Certain information is gleaned, information is then digested by law enforcement. As a former prosecutor, I could tell you that I would ride along crime investigations with detectives, and I was able to see from a legal perspective how things were gleaned evidentiary-wise, and how you would now eliminate a suspect or suspects by sort of digesting and analyzing this evidence. And, we're not getting a lot of information in specifics from law enforcement here. That, I think, you get a sense that there is an active investigation, as we know, and I don't think they're ruling anyone out per se. I think that maybe they're talking to people, and maybe this individual in the hoodie maybe, at least for this moment, perhaps ruled out, but I don't think they're totally crossing anyone off this list as investigation continues and evidence is procured.
And Imran, I wanted to ask you about that as well. This whole, you just kind of alluded to it, ruling people out. So do you think it's been too quick that they've come out and said, well, we don't believe this person is involved at this point, or we don't believe that person is involved? Do you think they've made those statements too quickly, or they're just saying that because at this point they just don't have enough to say that they are?
Well, we've seen that historically happen. We've seen law enforcement, looking at someone as a suspect, and perhaps at that point they're ruled out, but later on further evidence implicates someone in the crime. I'm not necessarily saying that happens here, but it's a possibility. And are they ruling people out too quickly? Well, it's the job of law enforcement to narrow down an investigation like this, to focus on people who are suspects or maybe a suspect, or get evidence regarding these crimes. And if there is someone or something that they feel is not pertinent evidentiary-wise in terms of leading to probable cause for an arrest for these crimes, then I think it's prudent that they let that be known. But I think it's an active investigation, and all eyes are on the law enforcement in this very rural area. So we're going to be seeing them, I think, taking a very close look at everyone, ruling people out, but also not excluding possibilities.
Hey guys, Sean Six Larkin here from On Patrol Live. The holiday season's upon us, and if you're looking for that perfect gift to stuff down in that stocking or put under the tree for somebody else, pick up my book, Breaking Blue, Real Life Stories of Cops Falsely Accused. It's a great read, something you don't want to miss. You can pick it up on Amazon.